Hi, here we are in the kitchen. I'm making tomato sauce to go over pizza. So we're gonna call it pizza sauce. It's the easiest sauce ever. There's no cooking. You will need to cook the pizza, but you don't have to cook the sauce. We're just gonna add some tomatoes to the food processor. This is a 28-ounce can of diced, actually this is diced Italian tomatoes, but you don't have to get that. You can just get regular tomatoes. And actually my recipe calls for whole canned tomatoes, but I don't have that today, and I'm just using this. And it already has some seasoning in there, so it's gonna help you out in that regard. Real quick, I'm gonna run the food processor. I don't want you to have to be a party to that, so I'm gonna turn this off. But I'm gonna run the food processor for about 30 seconds and get this nice and juicy. Okay, notice I strained the tomatoes. I'm saving the liquid because when we're done, we want to have exactly 2 cups left over. So making sure that that's going to happen. I'm adding some red pepper flakes, some cracked black pepper, some oregano, some basil, and some Italian seasoning, some olive oil, and some balsamic vinegar. I'm going to whip that up. And again, I'm not going to make you have to listen to that, so I'm going to turn this off. We're going to come back, we're going to add some Parmesan cheese and some garlic. Okay, I'm adding a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, grated Parmesan cheese, and 4 garlic cloves. These are going to go in here, and we're going to pulse that real quick. Again, you don't have to listen to it. And believe it or not, that's our sauce. You don't have to cook it. It's obviously an uncooked sauce. It's just the tomatoes and the herbs that you use, the spices that you want. You can leave out the pepper flakes if you choose, but they give it a nice kick. So I'm leaving it in there. And then this is your pizza, so pizza sauce. Now I want this to equal 2 cups, and you're going to use about 1/2 cup per pizza. So you need, well, obviously you need 2 cups. So this doesn't quite get up to 2 cups, so I'm going to pour some of that liquid back in here. And then we're going to have 2 full cups of sauce, and then we're going to have pizza sauce to make pizza today. I'm just going to add this up to the 2 cup mark. And you can save this liquid. You can use it for soup. If you want to make soup, you can drink it if you want. You can make, make a cocktail out of it. Bloody Marys would be good in there. And there you have the pizza sauce. I'm going to come right back and we're going to do the dough. Okay, so here we go with the crust. We're adding our flour, salt, and yeast to the food processor. And we're just going to pulse this a few times just to get this incorporated. Here we are. There we go. Pulse. Oh, you gotta have that little thing in there. It's a safety thing. So now our flour, our salt, and our yeast is all put in. Now we're going to add our water. I'm going to have it running while I'm doing it. And then, wait, first we're going to add the oil, then we're going to add the oil. It's going to make a dough after about 30 seconds. Keep them raw. We're ready to stop. I actually wanted, that was part of it, so I needed you to see that. That's why I made you sit through that. And we're gonna let that sit in there. It's nice and warm. I'm gonna scoop up all of the dough into one ball. Make sure it gets all incorporated. And then I'm gonna let this sit for about 2 minutes. And then I'm gonna pulse it again. I'm gonna run the food processor again. This is what you're gonna do instead of kneading. You won't have to knead it if you do this, okay? So we'll be back in about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Okay, it's been 2 minutes. We're gonna let this go for 30 more seconds. This is kneading it. Instead of actually kneading it, we're putting it in the food processors. That makes it a lot easier. Some people are, they're afraid of having to make bread because of all the processes. This is one process. You put the stuff in the food processor and let the food processor do all the work, then you are going to have to turn it into a pizza dough eventually. So, but I'm going to turn on for 30 seconds, and then we're going to put it in a bowl, and I'm going to let it rise for 1.5 to 2 hours. Okay, now we have our nice dough ball. This is going to make 2 pizzas. It makes about, well, it's going to obviously depend on how thick you want your crust, but it's about a 12-inch, 2 12-inch pizzas. So, but I want to show you what we're going to do here. We're going to cover the whole thing with, this has oil in it. We're going to cover the whole thing with oil. Then we're going to let this, that'll help it keep it from drying out. We're going to put a towel on it. It's going to sit for 1.5 to 2 hours till it's doubled in size, and then we're going to have pizza. Hi, we're back. I'm making the pizza dough now, and I already did one. I'm just going to put it in. I didn't think you needed to see this done twice. I'm smashing it, pulling it, shaping it. You can use a rolling pin for this. I don't do that. Well, I shouldn't say I don't do it. I normally don't do that. Sometimes, surely I do. But anyway, you're just trying to get it to fit inside the pan, and you don't want to rush this because you'll tear it. So you want to try and you know, be gentle with it, but you also have to be the boss of it. So anyway, I've got a pan here. This is a 10-inch, actually it's a cake pan, and I'm squishing it in here. I wanted 2 pans that were the same size so that my we're actually taking this over to a friend of mine's house, and I wanted them to be the same size, and we're going to do 2 because I'm going to do one with meat on it and one not with meat on it. And anyway, it's super easy once you get the dough to fit the bottom of the pan. I'm going to show you this one. Okay, right here. See, it's pretty much covers the whole bottom of the pan. Once you get it to do that, then that's when you're going to cover it with the sauce. Seriously, pizza couldn't be easier. The only thing that's not easy is the waiting, because you have to wait for the crust to, I mean, the pie crust, the pizza dough to rise. So that's the hardest part, is the waiting, right? Okay, so that's pretty good. And now we're gonna put some sauce, and as I mentioned, this is 2 pizzas. The recipe that I gave you makes 2 pizzas, but we're gonna and we're making 2 pizzas, and we have the crust for 2 pizzas, but I have enough sauce for actually 4 pizzas. So let me see if this can, yeah, if you have trouble with it and you can't get it squished in there, like this one was kind of shrinking down, let it rest for a minute or 2, and then go back. It can be a process. Anyway, now this is done. That's pretty good filling up. You want to go just a little bit above, you know, going up a little bit up the sides. And we're going to put, well, you know what, I'm going to put some salt. I like a little bit of salt on my crust. It gives it a little more flavor. There is salt in it too as well. So, okay, so now we have our sauce that we made earlier. And I'm going to put about 1/2 cup. But you can put as much as you want. If you don't want that much or you want more, feel free. That's like one of the best things about cooking for yourself is, you know, you can do it how you want. This is going to be, you take about 1/2 cup, and then we're going to put our toppings, and I like the cheese on top of my toppings. So, but you don't have to do it like that. You can put the toppings on top, which might be where they're supposed to go since it's in the name. Okay, so now we got the sauce, we got the crust. See, the crust. Okay, now I'm gonna put mushrooms. I cut up 4 mushrooms. I sliced them, kind of thin, I guess. I'm gonna put some on each, but I mostly want them on this one because this is gonna be the veggie pizza. I'm making a pepperoni pizza for my friend John. He likes to have meat with every meal, so. Okay, so that's good. I'm putting jalapenos on here. Definitely not an Italian tradition, but we like our stuff spicier as we're getting older. Do you, people who are getting older, do you notice you're liking stuff hotter nowadays? we put hot sauce on like everything now. So so then there's our jalapenos, and you want to distribute them evenly. You want it to be every piece to get its own little amount. I've got some chopped, or actually sliced garlic I'm going to put on here now, and I actually sliced up quite a few cloves of garlic, and they were pretty good size. I'd say like 4 or 5, and there's a lot of garlic here. And we already put garlic. You don't have to do that. Again, you're going to put what you want on the pizza. So I'm putting everything on both. All the veggies on both, and then I'm just going to put pepperoni on the one that I think John will be eating. So, and this is some thinly sliced onion. Again, any of this you don't want on there, you can leave it off. You don't have to have a pizza like Mary has. I already put some peppers on that one. So there's some peppers going to go on here. Put a couple more peppers on here. And look at that at the bottom, just a bunch more garlic. I like a lot of garlic. So there you go. Now that's done. Now we're going to put the cheese. Oh, I got to put his pepperoni on here. I got these little teeny pepperoni. I think they're, better. They actually, what's funny, the bag says for salads and something else, snacks, pastas, something like that. But I like it, the idea of these smaller ones for pizza, because I think they're more bite-sized, and I like the idea of that. I'm going to put kind of a lot on here. John likes a lot of meat, so I'm putting kind of a lot. He's a good dude. We like him a lot. In his 80s. God bless him. Okay, I'm going to put some more. All right, because technically this pizza I think is supposed to serve 4 people. So I'm going to put my cheese on top. And again, you put as much cheese as you like, or as little. And if you're trying to make this vegan, obviously leave the meat off and don't put any cheese at all. It's vegan up until we put the cheese on. There was no animal products in here at all. So now it's going to go in the oven, and that's the cool part too, is that it literally takes 8 to 10 minutes in the oven. So in 8 to 10 minutes, you're going to have pizza. There you go. I think I also want to I'm going to sprinkle a couple little of the red pepper flakes on here too. And then I'm going to stick it in the oven, and I'll bring it out to you when it's done. Turn it on. Oh, it sure did. Okay, they're ready. There's one. That took 12 minutes actually, so a little bit more than 10 minutes. And then here's the other one with the pepperoni on it. And now we have pizza. Thanks for watching. Be sure and like and subscribe. Thank you.